For many years, Dead Space stood as one of the most intense and atmospheric horror franchises in video gaming. When the original game launched 20 years ago, it didn't just introduce players to a new sci-fi universe, or rather adventure, it sort of redefined what survival horror could feel like in space. Where instead of the usual fast, cheap jump scares, Dead Space kind of built its terror really slowly. Dim corridors, distant metallic noises, flickering lights, and that unsettling feeling that something was always watching you. At the center of that specific nightmare was Isaac, which was an engineer who was never meant to be a hero. Where unlike many action protagonists, Isaac wasn't really a soldier that was trained for combat, he was just a technician, thrown into a catastrophic situation around the mining ship Ishimura, which was armed with nothing more than some industrial tools and sheer determination. Therefore, he just fights to survive against the day. The series quickly became legendary among horror fans. Dead Space 2 then expanded the universe with a larger setting and some deeper story. And while Dead Space 3 attempted to blend horror with some larger scale action, after that, the franchise went quiet for nearly a decade. Then something surprising happened. In 2023, EA released a full remake of the original Dead Space, rebuilding the game with modern technology while staying faithful to its core design. And the remake was widely praised for, capturing the oppressive atmosphere of the original while also enhancing the visuals, the sound design, and gameplay systems. For many players, it felt like the series had finally been given the revival it deserved. And naturally, that success reignited one major question across the gaming world. Could Dead Space 4 finally happen? Now, while nothing official has been confirmed yet, the conversation around this specific idea is very lively. It's actually getting louder. Adding even more intrigue to the situation is the involvement of Glenn Schofield, the original creator of Dead Space. In interviews and discussions, Schofield has hinted that once imagined darker directions for the series, ideas that never made it into the earlier games. And those concepts have actually sparked speculation about what a true continuation of Dead Space story might really look like. The Dead Space universe has always been built around one central mystery: the markers. These alien artifacts possesses the ability to manipulate organic matter, driving people insane while also reanimating the dead into some monstrous form. However, despite their importance, many aspects of the markers remain unknown, like where did they come from, why were they even created, and of course, what is their ultimate true purpose. A potential Dead Space 4 could dive deeper into those questions than any previous installment ever did. Instead of simply escaping another outbreak, the story might take players closer to the source of the Maker phenomenon itself. Perhaps humanity has discovered new marker signals emerging from some deep space, signals stronger and older than any others seen before. Or even perhaps someone has finally succeeded in controlling the marker's power, turning it into something even more dangerous than the necromorphs themselves. One of the most intriguing aspects of Dead Space has always been its psychological horror. The markers don't just create monsters, they also affect the human mind, causing hallucinations, paranoia, disturbing visions of lost loved ones. Isaac himself, for example, suffered heavily from that specific effect, particularly through his memories of Nicole, the woman he was trying to save. Now, a new entry could expand on those psychological elements in some really newer ways. Instead of simply fighting physical enemies, players might experience environments that shift and distort as the marker signal grows stronger. Corridors might rearrange themselves, voices might echo, shadows might move in ways that defy logic, where the line between reality and hallucination could become increasingly difficult to distinguish. Technologically, the possibilities for Dead Space have never been greater. The remake already demonstrated how modern hardware can elevate the franchise's signature atmosphere. Dynamic lighting, real-time a brand new entry built from the ground up could really push those ideas much further. Another direction that Dead Space 4 could explore is, of course, the scale. But the first two games largely took place in confined environments like the Ishimura or the Sprawl Station, where a new entry could really open up larger locations while maintaining the same claustrophobic tension that defines the series. Imagine like an enormous mining colony orbiting a distant planet now completely overrun by necromorphs. Entire districts of the station might be abandoned, leaving players to just piece together what happened through scattered logs, environmental storytelling, some haunting remnants of the colony's former life type of thing. That engineering aspect has always actually been an important part of Isaac's identity. Unlike typical action heroes, Isaac solves problems with tools and technical knowledge. Expanding that concept also could introduce new gameplay mechanics where players repair systems, redirect power grids, or even manipulate machinery to create safer paths through the dangerous areas that you explore. Of course, the true heart of Dead Space has always been its atmosphere, where few games manage to really create such a constant sense of dread. The distant echo of something moving in the ventilation shafts, some quiet hum of failing machinery, that unsettling silence before a sudden violent attack. Sound design played a very big and important role in that experience, and modern audio technology could make it even more immersive. Players might experience environments that shift and distort as the marker signal grows stronger. And then, of course, most importantly maybe, there's the story itself. What if humanity has misunderstood the markers entirely? Like, what if they are not simply tools of destruction, but signals designed to prepare civilization for something far worse? That kind of revelation could shift the entire tone of the series from survival horror to cosmic horror, where the true enemy is something far beyond human comprehension. It's a kind of narrative twist that would feel right at home in Dead Space universe. Anyway, with that being said, for now, fans can only speculate about whether Dead Space 4 will ever officially enter development. The success of the remake proved that there is still enormous interest in the franchise, and many players would eagerly return to Isaac Clarke's nightmare if given the chance. The ingredients are all there: a beloved horror universe, modern technology, creative ideas from the original minds behind the series could come back. If those pieces ever come together, Dead Space 4 could become one of the most chilling science fiction horror experiences ever made. Because in the Dead Space universe, the darkness, per se, between the stars is never truly empty. Sometimes it's just waiting to wake up.